Blessings, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm so happy you've joined me tonight. Welcome to Sunday Night Alive. My name is Reverend Denise Schubert. We come here every Sunday to explore what it means to awaken out of the illusion of separation, what it means to call forth into our own lives a life of happiness and joy and peace. We come together to discover how we can become a beneficial presence on the planet and lift the energy for everyone. So what I always say is that if we want a healthy world, if we want a happy world, if we want a spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically healthy world, we have to do it first. If we can't do it, why can anyone do it? So we come here to really just be with each other in a positive, affirmative way. We come here to think a new thought. We come here to learn tools for being in the world in a way that is pleasing to us and pleasing for all of those around us. So our topic tonight is a bit more about butterflies. Well, a couple of housekeeping things. There is a chat room. You can chat on here, which I love seeing your names. I love knowing that you're here. It's the only way I really know that. So if you want to say hi to each other and hi to me, that would be awesome. Also, just two announcements before I pray us in, bless our time together. One is that on Saturday, July 25th, I'm starting a new forum for us to do work together called an hour of spiritual power. And it's going to be on Zoom. And I'm choosing Zoom because I recently participated in a Zoom call that was incredibly deep, and it had 90 people on it. And it was intimate. It was exciting. Everything about it was good. So I wanted to create a forum different than this one, because in this one, I really am just talking to myself. I'm looking at a camera and talking, and it's a little odd, but trusting that you're out there. But Zoom will allow us to do some meditation together. We're going to do some music. We're going to do some talking, some sharing. I don't even know yet what we'll do, but for you to participate, I need to get you the meeting ID and the password, because I wanted it to be an intentional thing. Now, I don't know if that will work, but what I need and want you to do, if you want to join us on the 25th, is just go to my website, deniseschubert.com. Just go there, and it doesn't, forget about the donations thing if money's the issue. Just log in, and I will get, when you register, I will know, and I will send you everything you need in order to join us, which will work for now on. You only have to do this one time. So that's it. And also, sorry, one more announcement. Where I'm finishing up the Life of Spiritual Power 8-week masterclass, and it's been amazing. And I just so want to encourage you, if you were thinking about it, that this next one is going to be Wednesday evenings, and it starts August 5th. It's 8 weeks. So if that's tugging at you, please also go to my website, and you can register for that there as well. All right, the commercials are over. So our topic tonight is a bit about butterflies. And I apologize to all of you who have been with me for a while, because I love to talk about the analogy of transformation within the context of butterflies and caterpillars. But I've had another deepening, so I wanted to share that again tonight. But before I did that, I really wanted to share a little bit of a personal process this week. In that early in the week, I found myself a little antsy and a little disquieted and a little feeling sorry for myself. I was feeling kind of stuck here in paradise. Like I've been missing my friends. I've been missing flying. I've been missing traveling. I've been wanting to go plan a trip back to Africa. And of course, none of that's really possible right now with COVID. So because we know that we are responsible for shifting energy, because we know that if we think a new thought, we'll have a new experience. How I chose to work with that, because I didn't like how it felt. I was feeling a little bit like a victim. So I decided to be grateful for the whole day of Tuesday. literally, I decided I would just, every minute I had a piece of paper with me all day and I was writing down things that I was truly grateful for. And it did indeed work so beautifully well and did shift my energy. So, I'm even just grateful for this. If it were not for COVID, I would not be here with you, because the first month I was so bored. It's like, Denise, you have to do something. You have to earn money. You have to speak. You have to have a community. You have to keep yourself busy. So, I used it to build a website and to create this. And I've just been making stuff up for 3 months. So anyway, it would be really great if you take the time tonight, not while you're with me, but tonight or tomorrow, and just write down the things you're grateful for. And yesterday I was reading, I kind of read Will Bowen's To You, Love God. It's a little 365-day book. And I just want to read to you what it said yesterday on July 11th. It says, to you, your mind is a seesaw. As you add thoughts, it tips to one side or the other side. The more thoughts you add, the farther it goes in that direction. He says, pile on fearful thoughts and your mind dips towards worry. Pile on gratitude and your mind tips towards contentment. He says, at any given moment, you are adding weight to the seesaw. Intentionally add thoughts that tip your mind toward the joy of living. Love God. It's a very cute little book. So I'm just bearing witness that it worked for me. And if I kind of feel like if I'm feeling thoughts and feelings that other people may be too, and, we're really practicing, everything that we do, this whole journey of awakening is about recognizing that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, living in an intelligent universe governed by mental laws and principles that we did not create, but that we can use. And we can use them to create a better experience than we have. We can use them to create a better world than the one we live in. We can use them to create joy instead of suffering. So we need to practice, because it's not easy to do. We get caught up in the roller coaster of life, the hamster wheel of life, and we forget that we have dominion over the physical world, that we are the masters in this universe, not because our ego says so, but because God says so. So be grateful, even in the midst of the things that are missing. We train ourselves to look for what's working, not for what's broken. And that's a counterintuitive to the way the world is. Mostly we look for what's wrong so that we can fix it. And what if there's nothing to fix? What if everything's perfect, as T.S. Eliot said? What if in this moment, nothing is lacking? What if in this moment, it is a perfect, perfect moment? So, ready for butterflies? So this is the quote. I've spoken on this in my spiritual leadership in churches and communities. I've spoken on this topic more times than I can count, because it is an amazing topic to talk about. So only butterflies can explain how caterpillars come to fly. Now, I like this quote because it speaks to the relationship between us and the transformation, or what's required for the awakened us, for the better us, for the expanded us. That for us to awaken, transformation must take place. And for us to become a different order of being, transformation must take place. So we start with the caterpillar, because, by the way, the caterpillar is incredibly happy with its life. It is not unhappy in any way. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. It gets to eat as much as it wants to eat. It gets to visit with its caterpillar friends all day long. It inches along in a beautiful garden. So nothing's really missing for the caterpillar at all. The caterpillar is being a caterpillar. But there is something within the caterpillar, a kind of intuition, a kind of, Michael Beckwith would call it involution. There's something within the caterpillar that at some moment causes it to build a cocoon out of its own self and to put itself into the cocoon and to allow its body to dissolve, essentially, to remake itself, and then to, at some moment, about 2 weeks later, it emerges from this self-made cocoon into a new being, a new kind of entity. Because for one thing, it doesn't even look like the caterpillar, right? It has wings, beautiful wings. It has color. And of course, it can fly. So this quote, "Only butterflies can explain how caterpillars come to fly," is really a kind of a deep quote, because it's saying that you can't ask a caterpillar about this better life or this expanded life. The caterpillar doesn't even know what the heck you're talking about. The caterpillar is going to go, "What?" Because it doesn't know anything else. A little bit like us, right? That we don't know what's possible when we're a caterpillar, we don't know what's possible. But can you imagine if the caterpillar had a choice in the matter? So just imagine God comes to visit the caterpillar one day and says, "Hey, Miss Caterpillar, I have an offer for you. I have a great opportunity for you. And if you are willing to give up this life for a better one, then just do what I'm going to ask you to do. So you will be so beautiful. You will be able to fly. Look up. You'll be up there instead of down here. So all you have to do is just do what I tell you to do. And what I'm going to tell you to do is going to sound a little weird, but trust me, just do it." So what I want you to do is build a cocoon, put yourself into the cocoon, allow your body to turn to goo, but don't worry, because within 2 weeks you will leave the cocoon and you will be so beautiful and you will fly. And what does the caterpillar say to God when God says this to the caterpillar? Two guesses, and it's not yes. So the caterpillar says no. And the caterpillar says no for many reasons. That one, its life may not be exactly perfect, but it's at least to the caterpillar, he knows what to expect tomorrow, right? It's safe, it's predictable. The caterpillar does not know who this God character is, so can they be trusted? What if they're lying? What if there is no butterfly on the other end of goo? So the caterpillar truly just says, "No way." But fortunately for the caterpillar and for us, because we, as a world, we love butterflies and we love the idea of transformation, the caterpillar's DNA doesn't leave it any choice. It really can't say no. And God doesn't really ask. It just is an impulsion. It's just what the caterpillar does. So the impulsion to do it is called involution, and the actual doing of it is called evolution. So the actual building of the cocoon, the actual crawling into the cocoon, the actual emerging of the butterfly is the process of evolution. Now, obviously, we're not talking just about caterpillars and butterflies, right? We're just not talking about them. We're talking about us, because in exactly the same way, only awakened people can explain how asleep people come to awaken. Only a transformed person can explain what happened, right? You can't go up to someone who is, these terms sound like they're bad, but they're not bad. They're just a way of talking about consciousness. So if somebody's not worked on themselves, if they've not done the inner work, if they've not done their forgiveness work, if they've not identified the distinction between their ego and their spirit, if they've not moved out of predictable to possible, if they are still stuck in victimhood and not aware of the beauty and intelligence around them, we call that sleepwalking. And it's not, Deepak Chopra calls it living in virtual reality. Like, we think the reality is real because we don't know any other reality, but the reality is just a reality of our own making. So in exactly the same way, so a person who has awakened out of that and who's experiencing some mastery in their life, who's experiencing some stabilization our life structures. I'm hoping you all know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to think, you know, before what I would call my own awakening, my life structures weren't great. I wasn't really very healthy. I wasn't really very happy. I was in a job I didn't love. I was in a marriage that wasn't working. I felt like I didn't have any choice, like I was getting older, blah, 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 right? Like the story of my life. And my life would be better if my parents hadn't gotten divorced, or my life would have been better had I gone to college earlier. All of the things that keep us from thriving, or to keep us from exuberance or enthusiasm. So once a human being has gone through that their transformation, once you've turned to goo and emerged from the goo, you then can begin to talk about it, right? You then can begin to have conversations. So for people, it would go something like this. This is what the script would do. God comes down and says to you, I have the most amazing opportunity for you. If you will just do what I ask of you, I promise that every dream you have can come true. You will find true happiness, uncompromising joy. You will get into a great, right relationship with your body, your work, or your creativity, your money. You will have a completely different outlook on life. You will find a tribe of people who you love and who love you. You will never be lonely or alone again. You will feel like you belong. All you have to do to have that life is to quit smoking. Or all you have to do to have that life is to quit drinking. Or all you have to do to have that life is to forgive your parents and forgive yourself, or tell that person you're sorry. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is lose 30 pounds, right? All you have to do is think a new thought. Well, and you say, no, I really want all those things, but I can't possibly quit smoking. And I'm not saying something stupid here. Sometimes that's all it takes, because we are so ingrained in our day-to-day habits. Most people are exactly the same at 50 as they were when they were 15. That they may have an older body, but their behavior, their thoughts, their fears, their thinking is exactly the way that it was. So for us, when you do that, and I'm here to tell you, I quit a 30-year smoking habit, and your body turns to goo. Everything turns to goo when you do things like that. Michael Beckwith, who I keep bringing him up because he was my teacher. Still says, you are either pushed by pain or you are pulled by vision in life, because the mandate within us to transform and evolve is exactly the same as it is in a caterpillar. The only difference is, as we have a choice, we can say no. And we do. Most people say no. But when I quit smoking, I did it pulled by a vision, because I was already in this teaching, not for long, really. I was a very quick learner, but I had this vision of myself as a different person. Like, I had a vision of who I would be if I weren't the person who was smoking. And now I'm simplifying it a little bit, because that's who would I be if I weren't the person who was in a job I didn't like? Who would I be if I really had hope and faith and believed in the future? Who would I be? Who would that person be? And it was a huge vision for me, because I could catch it. I caught what that might look like for me. And I also caught that I was 45 at the time. I also caught that if I was going to do it, now would be a really great time. So my smoking was embarrassing me. It was limiting me. I remember I worked for Loyola Marymount University in I was in technology before ministry, and in a very high level technology position. And I used to go outside with a couple other people, and we would smoke. We would sit outside on a concrete around the garden, and we would smoke. And one day I went to a faculty cocktail party, and the chancellor of the school, the top guy in the school, had never met me. So I introduced myself. He goes, "Oh, you're with the children out smoking in the garden." And I was so mortified. I was like, oh my God, Denise, grow up. It's time to grow up. It's time to be an adult person here. So I'm grateful to have been pulled by vision. And I'm sharing this story with you so you can see the difference, because some people quit smoking because they're pushed by pain. And I'm grateful I did not have to be pushed by COPD or emphysema or lung cancer, because my quitting was a joyful experience, really, because I chose it. And I'm not, sometimes when people quit smoking or drinking or habits, they linger forever, like you always want them, and I don't really have that going on with me. So you and I have the capacity to wake up and to choose to change. Right? Now, this is why I'm talking about this tonight. This is my new favorite quote. I don't know who said it. I just found it, but it says, to become a butterfly, you must want to fly so much that you are willing to give up being a caterpillar. Now, being a caterpillar, by the way, is not bad. It's just not enough. Being who we are, nobody is bad. Everybody, every single person, awake or asleep, every single person, no one left out, not one person, not even the one person you think cannot be in this category. Either we are all made in the image and likeness of life, of God, of spirit, of love, intelligence, whatever words you want to use, or none of us are. Do you understand? Can't be I am, but you're not, or we are, but they're not. That we're all incarnated. We're all born to live life joyously, with enthusiasm, with inspiration. We're all here to give our gifts and our talents. We're all here to feel love, to give love and be loved. We're all here for that. And I realize that most people aren't doing that, that the majority of people don't live in that space of ecstasy. They just don't, because they're wrestling with the world, wrestling with their addictions, wrestling with their parents, wrestling with their spouses. So the same way, being asleep is not bad. It's just that being awake is better. If more people would embrace these ideas, we would have people would be healthier. All the lifestyle diseases would disappear. Heart, all of 90% of every disease, all the commercials. What would mainstream TV do if they couldn't have all those commercials for constipation, depression, impotence? It's like, what would the world do if we all woke up, right? Because people who transform and awaken are healthier. People who transform and awaken are happier. People who transform and awaken have a much better relationship with money. People who transform and awaken are difference makers. They're people of influence on the planet. And it's not just Dalai Lama, it's you and me, right? So transformation is a choice. Now, I have a little reading here from Michael Beckwith from his book, Spiritual Liberation, which I think maybe for Hour of Power, we might do spiritual liberation the first month, the month of August, because this book is amazing. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It's called Spiritual Liberation by Michael Bernard Beckwith. So he says, you have entered an agreement with the universal scheme of things to evolve to your highest potential and deliver your best on the planet in a unique and magnificent way. So you were born to be magnificent. You were born to give, not born to get. You were born to live and to give. He says, how fortunate we are to be implanted with not only the inner impulsion, which is involution, right? The inner impulsion to awaken to our true nature and the nature of reality, but also the capacity to put that spiritual process into action. evolution. So unlike the caterpillar, you and I can choose the goo. We choose the goo. Now, to choose the goo, I don't know that I could have, I don't know that I could have done it on my own. Something had to happen. So, but there is, and some of you have this right now, I know you do, that say, is this all there is? Can I be more? Can life be better? And if you're having that, that is your inner impulsion. That is something in you saying, do something, find a spiritual community, go to a therapist, read a book, open your mind, right? Make a decision that you don't know everything. And sometimes this requires what I would call 20 seconds of insane courage to do something different. 20 seconds, just say, even though, so when God comes to you and issues you the invitation, rather than going, no, I can't, I can't change anything. I'm afraid. Just say, I'm not afraid. I'm going to do it. And this could be, you're going to go back to school. This could be, you're going to quit smoking. This could be, you're going to get married. This could be, you're going to get divorced. This could be whatever shows up for you as a thing to do that will create a little goo-like experience in your life. And then get a support system of positive, affirmative, loving people who will support you, who will see perfection in you. And most often in life, that is a spiritual leader, your minister, your community leader. It's somebody who's already awake. You don't want to try to wake up with somebody who's still in victimhood or still not grateful or still suffering. They're not going to help you. They're not going to be able, you want somebody who's 2 steps down the path further than you. That's what you want. Somebody down the path just a little bit further enough along that they can be of value to you in this conversation. So when you are urged from the inside to change, just say yes. I mean, you've got nothing to lose, really. Nothing. Because if nothing changes, nothing will change ever. Ever. If nothing changes, nothing changes ever. If something changes, if one thing changes, everything changes. So find your 20 seconds of insane courage, because really, I think I would be willing to bet money on this, that if you're over 40, if you're over 30, there's always, there is an urge to become more. There's an urge to sing your song. As Henry Thoreau, who said, most men and women lead lives of quiet desperation and leave without ever having sung their song. You don't have to not sing your song. Consciousness is raising now at a very fast level, and there are so many places you can go, people you can call. Call me. There are so many people that you can really reach out to help you on your journey of becoming. So just say yes. I just realized I forgot to pray us in. So I'm going to do a special, really great prayer out. So anyway, so that's here's where I am, that you, in order to become the more of who you really, really are, you have to really, really, really want a different kind of life, a different way of experience life. So 20 seconds of insane courage and just say yes. Okay? And do a gratitude list tomorrow. Really. Don't spend any more time this week on what you don't have. You know what I mean? Like I can think about how I can't go to a movie. And for those of you who know me, I'm a movie addict. Or I can think about, but I get to go swim again in my new little house pool. So anyway, I love you. So next week, our topic is don't waste any more time. And as always, I am grateful. My goal is to just be with you for anybody and everybody. but I am open to receiving tithes and love offerings. I am. So if you feel pulled, if you're getting value and you want to support the work, please feel free to use PayPal, rebdschubert@gmail.com, or you can go right to my website. And also, please sign up. I know you want to, so sign up to join Hour of Power. Doesn't cost anything. I just need you to register and consider the 8-week masterclass. That's one way you can, I promise you, goo if you take the masterclass. I do. I promise you, goo. All right. So thank you so much for joining me again tonight. I just love being with you. One of the things I'm grateful for is that, when you're in your house and there's no place to go, there's sometimes very little reason to put earrings on. So I'm grateful at least every Sunday to put makeup on and earrings on for you. And it makes me feel, I look forward to it and I'm grateful for it. So, all right. So let us take a breath together. Let us simply just turn within. And by turning within, we just allow our world to be where it is without our attention in this moment. All the peoples, the conditions, the circumstances, all the fears and worries, everything bothering you, just let it be. Everything in the world arises from consciousness. If you change consciousness, the world will change. And so when we close our outer eyes, we open our inner eyes. And when we open our inner eyes, I want you to look into a space within you that is real and true, that is the truth about who you are. It's the essence of you, and it is perfect, and it is whole. There's nothing broken about you. There's nothing missing or absent. That God gave you everything. You are perfect. And so as we open our inner eyes, we're also looking into that dimension, that space and place and dimension within us that is unconditional love, unconditional peace, not bothered by externals, that is strong and sure and confident and competent. And so when we tap into that, we can begin to live from the inside out rather than the outside in. We can stop looking for our good in the world and start expressing our good from inside. And so this is the end result of the transformation from asleep to awake, is that you live from the inside out. And so I speak my word for and about every single person who's with me tonight or will listen to this broadcast later, just to simply know that within you, involute within you, is the urge for transformation. Involute within you is the urge to build a thought cocoon, to enter into that cocoon, to allow your world to rearrange itself so that you emerge a new order of being. That this is the gift of transformation that's involute in every single person. And all it needs is your yes. So say yes, take the journey, and join the hundreds and thousands and millions of people who are waking up to a new order of living, and join as we create a world that works for absolutely everyone. And so for this, I'm grateful for this evening. I release my word I release the word I'm speaking, which is a creative action into a universe that is saying yes to it. So I know that we can leave this time of prayer together, expecting and accepting its fulfillment. And we do this in an affirmative joining of our voices with, and so it is. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much. I will see you next Sunday at 5 o'clock. Have a great evening and stay safe.